Are you got shaky knees over your pick with the polls being so tight?
I'm 77 years old and I get butterflies in my stomach every 4 years, but I don't change my prediction in response to the polls. If I did, I would have been dead wrong about 2016. I would have been dead wrong about 2012 when the polls turned against Obama. Around this time in October, I would have been dead wrong about 1988 when George H.W. Bush fell 17 points behind. My system is based upon the fundamental forces that drive elections. That is, it's governing, not campaigning, that counts. And the keys gauge the strength and performance of the White House party. And this whole idea of an October surprise is a huge myth. I've always made my predictions before then and never changed them. When I was predicting Trump in 2016, we had this immense surprise of the Access Hollywood tape with Trump bragging about assaulting women. Pundits were saying he's dead. You got to change your prediction. I didn't, and I was right.
Frank Luntz, what do you believe of the mythology versus the matter of fact of an October surprise?
Allan Lichtman is brilliant, and he's proven it through decades and decades of success. So I'm not going to challenge him. I'll also acknowledge that the polling this year is not indicative of virtually anything. The swing states, only all 7 of them are within 2 points of each other. It is unclear that the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris had any impact at all. Now, let me be candid, Chris, because I think it's important where we acknowledge where we get it wrong. I thought that Trump's performance was so horrific in that debate that that would kill him, and it has not. And I'll also emphasize to viewers right now that Trump has incredible staying power, and that even though he seems to be unhinged, his own voters don't mind. In fact, they seem to embrace it. Chris, I think it's too close to call. I've never been afraid to make a prediction. But in those states and among those key voting blocks, Donald Trump is doing surprisingly well, and Harris has been unable to close the deal.
For the people, Frank, the idea of an October surprise, do you believe in that? And what would it have to look like to make a difference in this election?
The October surprise is Joe Biden dropping out. The October surprise is Donald Trump being shot. The October surprise is Donald Trump being potentially shot at a second time. The October surprise is Israel and Gaza and Hamas and Hezbollah. The October surprise, we've been having it again and again and again. We just had it in September, or we had it in August, or we had it in July. So yes, we've been this has been the most shocking, unstable election in terms of the events that have been happening. But Chris, the polling data has been surprisingly stable. And Harris has not moved at any point in the last 2 weeks. So I think we've got a race that is simply too close to call.
Yeah, it feels a lot like 2004 to me in terms of how locked up it is. But Professor Lichtman, doesn't that mean that the Democrats have to be what we call in Italian the gagarelle, which is the nervous stomach, because they have to win the popular vote to win the electoral college? I'm not saying as a matter of political science. I'm saying that historically, they don't win the presidency in the electoral college if they haven't had a pretty healthy margin in the popular vote. If it's so locked up, what does that portend?
We don't know that it's so locked up. You know, Frank Luntz is brilliant, and I don't disagree with anything he said, but let me give a little bit of a gloss on the polls. They tell you the error margin.
The love fest between Luntz and Lichtman. Oh, bleeding hearts of the world, unite. Go ahead,
Unite.
Lichtman.
And you know what, Chris? I want to give you a shout out for what you said about the Middle East. I'll quote what Dwight Eisenhower said 70 years ago. There is no military solution to the Middle East. Now, back to this race. The pollsters tell you the error margin's plus and minus 3%. That's pure statistical error. On top of that, you have the era of non-response, people lying, people not focusing and changing their minds, and you don't know who the likely voters are. That at least doubles the error margin of the polls, which means it's plus and minus 6%, which means there has to be a gap of about 10 points at least for the polls to be reliable. Plus, the top of the statistical error is unidirectional, not random. The polls underestimated Republican voting strength in 2016. But from what we know about 20, 23, and 24, by 5 points or more, they're underestimating Democratic performance, as we saw in the race for the seat held by George Santos. The poll had it 1 point, the Democrat won by 8 points.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.